Hello guys and gals, it's your boy Spud here and welcome to Enjoy Life Music, where we talk about everything music related in Japan, Korea, and sometimes Asia in general. And today I've got another music review for you. Now this review is going to be a little different compared to my previous ones because I'm not necessarily talking about a singer. Well, she's a singer with her sax. Yeah, saxophonist. If you haven't figured it out by this picture over here, maybe you can see this, I don't know. I will be talking about Yucco Miller's latest album, Colorful Drops. So yes, we're going to be talking about jazz. I play piano, I play saxophone. I was eventually going to talk about jazz, so here it is. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Yucco Miller's Colorful Drops was released on October 13th and contains 9 tracks on the album. And I've got to say, this album is dope as too much. Pull it back. But no, you heard me. This album is great. Yes, it's a jazz album, but it contains a wide variety of jazz styles. You have contemporary jazz, you have smooth jazz, even some fusion jazz. Without a doubt, this is Yucco's most colorful album ever. And I mean that figuratively and literally. I mean, look at this cover album. I mean, that's... On top of that, these songs are all Yucco originals, with the exception of Fly Me to the Moon. I love this album, and I love basically every song on this album. Actually, I do love every song on this album. However, there are 2 songs that stand out in particular, for me at least. And these songs would be Iksa and Be Myself. So before I go into Iksa, I'm going to talk about Be Myself first because I just feel like that's kind of going to get us in the mood of the music. The music. I mean, if you want to get in the mood for something, you know, that can work too, but Be Myself. The title, I think it's basically expressing Yucco's personal feelings. So I think the song is supposed to represent who she is. Yucco is a jazz player. She's a jazz saxophonist. Her heart belongs to jazz. In a bunch of interviews, she talks about how she loves jazz and how it changed her life way back in high school. And I think this is the style she's most comfortable with, this kind of contemporary, modern, maybe a mixture of smooth jazz here and there. And it shows. This song does lean more toward that modern contemporary jazz with a little bit of that smooth jazz element. And yes, I know smooth jazz gets a lot of flake for it being elevator music, but there's so much more to that. And she does a good job mixing it together. On top of that, the piano solo in this song is... my gosh, it just fills your soul up with just pure ecstasy. Next we have Iksa, which is the complete opposite of Be Myself. It's an upbeat fusion jazz style. If I'm being honest, it sounds like an alternative version of another song on this album called New Experience. Then again, that feels more like raw fusion jazz. So that leads me to ponder the question, if New Experience is supposed to represent her trying out new styles of jazz, because if that's the case, New Experience doesn't really make sense considering the fact that Yucco has played fusion jazz before. I want to say about 8 years ago, Yucco had a fusion jazz collaboration with Kawaguchi Senri, who is an amazing drummer, so there was that. Anyway, the point being, she has played fusion jazz before, so maybe I'm just misinterpreting the meaning of the song. Another thing, initially I did not like Iksa. Well, I liked it, but I didn't like it as much as I do now. It's one of those songs you have to go back and listen to, and it just grows on you more and more and more and more and more. But the thing that caught me off guard with Iksa was the fact that you don't hear a traditional saxophone. And yes, I know that sounds weird. Spud, what the heck do you mean by no saxophone? This is a saxophone album. Yes, it is. However, I believe she might be using an aerophone, or she could be using one of those sexy electric saxophones, the Yamaha YDS 150. Regardless, the way Yucco plays this song, it reminds me of like some kind of cyberpunk jazz club. And actually, a cyberpunk jazz club does not exist, but my god, is that a great idea. Let's make that happen. By the way, Yucco does a little singing in this album. She actually sings Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. And I gotta say, it's okay. Yucco isn't a singer, but her style when it comes to singing is very, very cute. She has a very sweet voice. Her pronunciation is a little off, but that's okay. English isn't her native language. As a matter of fact, I don't even think she really speaks that much English. And then look at me, my pronunciation in English sucks doo-doo, so. And no, I did not forget about the title track of this album, Smokey Light. So how would I describe Smokey Light? Well, let's put it in terms of anime. So if you're an anime fan, this song reminds me of Lupin the Third and maybe Cowboy Bebop. It's kind of that mixture, and maybe if you want, you can throw in like some Conan in there, maybe. But it does give off a very espionage, secret agent thing. It's kind of like James Bond, but like Japanese, a Japanese James Bond. That would be awesome. I hate James Bond, but Japanese James Bond, that'd be cool. Still waiting on my black James Bond, but whoa, one step, baby steps. Actually, the music video itself is her kind of going around acting as a secret agent. She's got like the gun, she's like, and it's all dramatic and whatnot. So, yeah, I think she was probably going for that kind of secret agent thing. And there's one part of the song where she does a great growl. Like, it's just beautiful. I always found that her signature was a very bright tone with a very distinct growling on some of her notes. And yes, all the other tracks on the album are wonderful. However, I do think the weakest song would be Deadline Pressure. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just weaker than the others. And that's the thing about this album. Like, I think all the songs are great. There isn't a bad song on this album. It's just some songs are better than others. With each album release, Yucco Miller's music just gets better and better and better. With that being said, my rating is a 5 out of 5 Spuds. Once again, congratulations, Yucco. You've made it on my 5-star, 5 Spud rating. For those who know Yucco Miller, do you like the album? And for those who don't know anything about her, don't worry, we've got something in the works for that, so look forward to that. Anyway, if you liked the video, be sure to obliterate the like button, like Obelisk the Tormentor. And if you loved it, how about you subscribe, because it helps me out, and while you're at it, go ahead and ring that bell to be notified for any videos I upload, because yeah, I upload every week again. Yeah, I do that now. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter, because I do post there occasionally, and yeah, why not? I need to get back into this whole social media thing. I've been avoiding it, you know. I can't run away from it forever. And as always, my friends, enjoy life, enjoy music, peace.